So you want to create a simple AI that just roams around, haunts you, so on. It's very easy. So first we're gonna create a folder called AI I don't know, system or something like that, right? AI. And right here, blueprint class. And we're gonna pick a character because the AI will be a character, you know. And we call it BP, for example, enemy. I like to call it not empty, enemy. I like to call it an enemy. So if you drag it in, and if you play, you will actually not see it. So we need to add a mesh. So just double click on it, and right here, mesh, right? And skeleton mesh. If you have your own one, you can add your own, either from Mixamo or Epic Game Store. Epic Game Store, yeah. So right here we have the enemy animations. So we can add right here, unarmed. If you drag it in and play, you have yourself a character. Beautiful, right? But it doesn't do anything. We didn't really give him any tasks to do, you know. He's kind of brain dead, like, you know. It's like you when you started to learn Unreal Engine 5. There's a lot of ways to make this wonderful person move. One of the ways is right here, going to begin play, and we can do AI move too, right? This is one of the ways to do it. You refer the pawn as self. Target, you can have a target, you can promote it into a variable. Insensitive, expose it on spawn, for example. And if you go to quick add, search for actors. This is an empty one. Click on this. That should be in the details now. Target. Click on this, pick a actor from scene and actor. It's not gonna move because it doesn't have a path. He's that smart that he needs a path. So we go into quick add and search for another mesh. This one generates a path for you, so you can just make it really large. Press P on your keyboard, and all the green area is the path of the AI, where he can move actually. So that's pretty cool. So P again. If you play, bam, he moves there, because yeah, the target is the actor that we set. So if you set the actor, I don't know, right here, he's gonna go to that point. Isn't that pretty cool? The thing is, as you can see, the animation isn't working for some reason. Weird, isn't it? He's like levitating to that or sliding like Michael Jackson. So what we're going to do is go to self, or sorry, character moment, and search for I think acceleration maybe. Yeah, right here, acceleration. Use acceleration for paths. We're gonna set that to true. So if we play now, bam, it moves. Why did it do that? Why it didn't have the animations? Because it didn't actually set the speed. He thought the speed right here is 0 when he moves. Now we are setting it, and it is moving, and you know, setting the speed. So that's one of the ways, but we are not going to use this because this is shit. I would say if you have a really simple AI, yes. So we're not going to use that. We're going to use behavior trees. So right click, artificial intelligence, behavior tree, enemy. Each AI that you will create, if you create multiple ones, each one will have its own behavior tree most of the time. Blackboard, enemy, just like that. So if you go into it, it's gonna be a little bit complicated. You can see behavior tree, blackboard, it should be the enemy, and that. So basically having most, we have these selectors, and then we have these sequences. Selectors are basically, they're gonna select between two sequences, maybe more. So we basically going to have a selector with a sequence. Right, you can hover down and see what it does, by the way. We're gonna start actually moving the character, or patrolling, so it's gonna move around this area. There's once again, a lot of ways to do it. We're gonna use splines for this case. A little bit more advanced, but hopefully it will be fine. So right click, go to class settings, actor, and this will be BP spline, or you can do path. Search for spline in the component, and there should be spline. Perfect. If you drag it out, you will see a spline, and there's a like a cube thingy. You can drag it out, and by holding Alt and then dragging, you will create a new spline. So this is basically, you would say, a road or a pathway where the AI can actually move. So you can set it however you want. We're gonna delete it for now. Let's do path and delete. I'm gonna go into path and do variables called path index. So that's gonna be an integer. And direction. The value will range from -1 to 1. Right here, value range. It's going to basically clamp the range, so it's only gonna be -1 and 1. It's an integer as well. So we're gonna create a custom event. This is a path, or you can call this like patrolling route. So we're basically going to get the path index, and add to direction and set the path index. If that equals 0, then we are gonna get the spline that we created, get number of points, just like that. How I said, when we place this, every single thing right here, this thingy, and when we press Alt, every single thing is a point. These ones are points. So we're basically gonna get that and subtract 1 and add this to the equal sign. If it's true, we get the direction and do -1 to it. If it's false, we're gonna do another branch, get the patrol index, does it equal to 0? Just like that, and that's gonna set the direction to 1. So basically what it does, it's going to tell the AI to move to the next point in the spline. So when it reaches 1, it's gonna go to the next one. So now we actually need the location or the world location of the spline, because it can be actually anywhere. So oh shit, fuck off. So we are going to go into functions and create a function. Always put f in front of it. Call this spline location, and we are gonna get the spline, get location spline point, and point index that we created is this one. Location world, so it's basically in the world, and have a return, and just plug this into here. So this is the location of the spline point, that specific point where he needs to move, or technically the spline, or whatever you want to call it. So now what we can do is go to BP enemy, go to variables, and call this path, and have the actor that we just created. This is the path, BP path that we created. Instance editable, expose it and spawn. So if we drag out the path, and for example, let's create a really simple path right now. So it's gonna go around here. So just hold Alt and just drag out, just like that, for example. A simple path. We can click on the character or the AI, get pick actor from scene, and pick the path one. So now the actor will know that he needs to follow that. Well, he doesn't actually, he's fucking brain dead. Being stupid ass. So we're gonna go into our behavior tree and create a new task. This is how you create the logic for it. So usually you create a folder like tasks and call this, for example, patrolling route. Hopefully I wrote it correctly, I don't know, man. Functions, we're gonna do receive execute AI, and we're gonna do finish. These two nodes are really important. This is how it does the logic, I guess. Of course, there's other functions like save a board, but now we actually need the patrol function, or the one that we created. So we're gonna do an interface. I like to refer the interfaces as drug dealers. I am the cook and I am trying to sell something. So we're gonna get the interface and I'm gonna call it BPI AI enemy thingy. Double click on it. We're gonna do I get a route, and we're gonna have an output of a route, or you can call it whatever. This will be BP path that we created, the actor itself. So now let's go to enemy, go to class settings, and this is how you're gonna add the interface, BPI AI. So now if you double click on it, you will see it like this, and just add the path into it. So now if we go back to our task, from the pawn, we can get the message right here. So this is the function. It refers to the pawn, to this enemy, so everything's fine, it's going to work. It always needs a target. If you don't have a target, it's gonna give you an error. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I like interfaces. Other thing you can do is cast, but in this case you shouldn't really. I'm gonna check is valid, because maybe it's not set and it's gonna give you an error and you will confused. You'll be confused probably. To get location, the function that we created, spline location, when it is valid. Let's make this a little bit more beautiful. And we're gonna do AI move too. That function that we did, yeah, it's the same thing. So how I said, there's a lot of ways to do it. So on success, it's going to be success. On fail, it's not going to be. The pawn will be the controller pawn. Acceptance rate is, it's quite up to you. I'm gonna leave it as 5. And right here, one more function that we created from the root is increment, or sorry, no, was it path? It was some sort of function, route, patrol route, and that is when we succeed, then we are going to go to the next one, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's it. This is how it's going to work. Get the route is valid, move to. Now we can go to the sequence and find a function right here, patrol. If we play, it's not going to work because we didn't create an active component. So why it's not working? Because we are not actually adding this to the character. To add it, we go to blueprint class, all classes, and search for AI controller. And you have to create an AI controller for this. So AI, let's call this enemy controller. Double click on it, event graph, on begin play, run behavior tree. This is how you're gonna run them. Add this to here. You can promote it into a variable if you have a lot of them. In the BP enemy, go to self, search for controller, and there should be AI controller class, and switch that to enemy. So if you play, it should now follow the path around it, well, around me, or the path that you actually created. Now it's going back, as you can see, just like that. What you can do is add wait. There's a wait function, so it's gonna wait, then it's gonna do it again. Wait time 1 to 3 seconds. So if you play, it's gonna wait a little bit, and then gonna move to the next sector or path. So this is a pretty simple tutorial. Hopefully you liked it, and yeah.